Mcgrath announced the new Love collection this morning and I have not been able to stop thinking about it. So we are going to do a will I buy it video on the new Pat Mcgrath collection, and I have so many thoughts to share. If you're excited for this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. Pat Mcgrath is doing it up with her Valentine's Day collection this year, and she is releasing a ton of new products. We have 3 whole new eyeshadow palettes. We have a whole new eyeshadow formula. She's releasing liquid eyeshadow singles, 7 different shades of these. Also releasing 3 new lipsticks. She's releasing 2 blushes, both of which are already existing in her line. 2 new liquid lipsticks, or at least I don't have them. I'm not sure if the shades are new. And then she's also releasing the under eye brightening setting powder, which I absolutely love. It's been one of my most recommended powders for years, but in this Love packaging. I was honestly expecting the release of 1 new 6-pan eyeshadow palette. Imagine my surprise when I woke up this morning and I saw that she's releasing 3 different eyeshadow palettes. These new palettes are coming in the same type of packaging that she released the Bridgerton collection, which is this type of cardboard packaging right here. And then once you open it, you have 6 different shades inside. The palettes are going to retail for $65 each. I believe that so did the Bridgerton ones when they first came out. They were $65 each, and then they went on sale, and then people found them at TJ Maxx, but this was like a whole year later. Anyways, so these palettes, the good thing about them is that they are both made in Italy, so I am really hoping that these new Love palettes that Pat Mcgrath is launching are also her Italian formula. When I talk about formulas made in Italy, what I mean is that they're usually better quality formulas than shadows made in China or shadows made in the US or other parts of the world. I love Italian eyeshadow formulas. They are prestigious for having the most creamy, the most blendable, the most pigmented, soft shadows ever. And so when Pat Mcgrath releases palettes that are made in Italy, they usually have a higher quality to very similar palettes she's released that are made in the US. So I am really crossing my fingers, knocking on wood, that these new Love palettes that come in this same type of packaging, just like these here, are made in Italy. Another really positive thing that I feel like I need to add is that even though this is the Love collection and it's coming out right before Valentine's Day, it's not pink puke, okay? I feel like a lot of brands, Natasha, come out with Love collections or Valentine's Day inspired makeup collections right around this time of year, and it's always pink overload. Don't get me wrong, I like a pink eyeshadow here and there, but I do not like the overly pink everywhere eyeshadow palette color stories. So I gotta give it to Pat. This is her Love collection that she's launching, but none of these palettes have pink overload. Yes, there's a rosy color story here and there, but it's mainly neutral shadows, very wearable shadows that you can wear this time of year or any time of year, and I'm definitely very glad that happened. All right, so now that I got that out of the way, we are going to go product by product. I'm going to be telling you what I think of these new product launches and whether or not I'm going to be purchasing them to review on my channel and to add to my collection. I think I want to start with the new formula, the Fetish Eyes Longwear Liquid Eyeshadows. These eyeshadows are going to retail for $29 each, which is a little better than the $32 that the little single pots retailed at, and I didn't love the single pots, so hopefully these are better. The single pots I'm referring to are these from the Star Wars collection. They're called the Chroma Luxe Artistry Pigments. Anyway, so these liquid single shadows here, she's coming out with 7 different shades in them, and here is what the swatches look like. I'm a little bummed because when I saw the actual bottles, I was like, ooh, that green looks amazing. But when you see the green swatched, which by the way, the green color is called Cosmic Chartreuse, when you see the green swatched, it is number 7. It looks more like a gold shimmer shadow with a hint of khaki thrown in there. So I no longer know whether or not I'm going to go for that one specifically. The answer to whether or not I will buy this is a new formula from Pat McGrath. I have to definitely try it, but I'm not going to get the whole collection because I don't think that's necessary. I think I'm going to go for a couple of the shades, and the ones I'm more so leaning to right now that I've seen what the swatches look like, are Twilight Platinum and Divine Champagne. So when you're looking at the swatches, number 1 and number 6 I think are the ones that I'm going to go for. Are they the most basic neutral ones? Yes, but I do not need another coppery shade in my collection because I don't really reach for those that often. I don't want a gold. I don't even want a rose gold. So I'm going to go for Divine Champagne, and I'm going to go for Twilight Platinum because I feel like those are going to look really good with like cool toned eyeshadows, and they're going to be very sexy and sparkly. I'm definitely hoping for lots of sparkle when it comes to the new Fetish Longwear Liquid eyeshadows, because I feel like that's what we look for in Pat McGrath makeup. Lots of like glitz and glam. And so if she's releasing liquid shadows, I'm expecting the glitz and the glam, unlike the unmentionable right here, because anyways, I don't want to talk about it. It was just kind of boring. So my point is, yes, I am very excited for the Longwear Liquid eyeshadows. I'm planning to grab 2 shades the day that they launch. Hopefully they don't sell out before I can order them like the single ones from the Star Wars collection did, because I also ended up with a color that I don't love because I was making myself a coffee when the collection came out. Anyways, the swatches of these single shadows do look very, very sparkly, and so once again I have high hopes, and I don't think that this is a limited edition thing. Let me know if you guys know whether or not the single liquid shadows are a limited edition. I'm hoping it's just a new addition to her collection rather than a limited edition thing, because also they don't say anything love related. I think that they just came out with the love collection, but I don't think that they're limited edition. Like I said, let me know if you know. I want to quickly go over the blushes because I'm not going to be purchasing either blush. I already own them both. So one of the blushes I do highly recommend, which is the blush in the shade Flirtatious. If you have not tried Flirtatious yet and you're interested in this collection and you like the packaging and whatnot, I highly recommend that you get the shade Flirtatious. This is it right here. It is my most used Pat McGrath blush. It is very subtle, it builds up beautifully, and it gives you this like rosy cheek effect that almost makes it look like you're not wearing blush, but you are. It's very subtle, very beautiful. It kind of looks like what I'm wearing today, but I'm wearing something different. But anyways, Flirtatious, one of my most favorite Pat McGrath blushes, and I highly recommend it. And then the other color that's coming out is called Desert Orchid, and I do actually also have that one in this limited edition cheek palette that I bought a while ago, and this is the shade right here. So it's a bit more of an orangey, rusty type of a blush color, also very beautiful. So take a look right there. This is Flirtatious, this is Desert Orchid. Like I said, I've been obsessed with the shade Flirtatious for a very, very long time, and I highly recommend it. But because I have both shades of blush that she's releasing in this collection, I'm obviously not going to be purchasing them again. She's also releasing 3 Satin Allure lipsticks. The shades are Crimson Ecstasy, Nude Venus, and in the flash, these Satin Allure lipsticks are the ones that come in this type of packaging right here, which we've also seen from the Bridgerton collection, and I actually really enjoy these little lipsticks. This isn't the best packaging as far as lipsticks are concerned with Pat McGrath. because Pat McGrath also has this type of packaging right here, which is much more luxurious. This is like a bit of a cheaper looking version of her lipsticks. However, the formulas in these are amazing. I think I'm going to be getting maybe a couple of the lipsticks. I'm thinking Nude Venus, because Nude Venus is one of my favorite shades from Pat McGrath that she has like across her collection. I love the Nude Venus blush. This right here is actually the Nude Venus matte lipstick that she came out with during the holiday season, and I love it. So I'm thinking I want to also get the Nude Venus satin lipstick, because that's going to be a slightly different formula. This is more of a matte finish lipstick, and the satin ones are a bit maybe like less pigmented, a bit more buildable if you will, but they do have a lot more shine to them, and I do really enjoy that formula. So I think I'm going to get the Nude Venus lipstick, which will come in this type of packaging. Personally, not going to get the red. Let's not be silly, because I'm not going to be using that. And so the other one I'm thinking about is the Warm Rosewood, and unfortunately they don't have any swatches of that one in the website yet, so I might wait till I see swatches, and if it's too dark I'm probably not going to go for it. But I do want to get the Nude Venus Satin Allure lipstick. Do I think I need that lipstick? Probably not, but like I said, I love the formula of the Satin Allure lipsticks, and I love the Nude Venus shade, so I have to like it, right? I'm probably going to really love that lipstick. As far as the Liquid Lost Legendary Wear lipsticks, which retail for $32 each, by the way, the lipsticks I was just talking about are going to be $30. These liquid lipsticks I do not like. I don't like Pat McGrath's liquid lipstick formula, and so I am going to be skipping on both of these. In fact, there's very few liquid lipstick formulas I currently like. It's nothing against the Pat McGrath one specifically. I just no longer love those matte liquid lipsticks that dry out your lips like crazy and it makes you look crusty and whatnot. So totally skipping on the Liquid Lost formula. And if you're interested in restocking on your Skin Fetish Sublime Blurring Under Eye Powder, this would be a fun way of restocking on that powder for you. I do have a brand new one in my drawer that I haven't even opened yet, so I'm going to skip on the powder as well. Plus, all you're going to really get is a new like box, exterior box, because I'm pretty sure that the actual compact is going to be the exact same. So I kind of don't see the point on that one. And I'm personally not getting it. Okay, so let me tell you my thoughts on the individual eyeshadow palettes next and whether or not I'm going to purchase them. Starting with Iconic Infatuation, which I would think is the most romantic one of the three, because this one has a cool toned, rosy type color story. And I noticed that these palettes have 3 mattes and 3 shimmers, which I am over the moon thrilled about. You guys know I love Pat McGrath shimmer shades, but I do also really adore Pat McGrath's mattes, and so having a really nice balance of shimmers and mattes just makes my little makeup loving heart very, very happy. This palette I would say maybe resembles Mothership number 7 a little bit, because that one also has like cool toned rosy shades to them. And I definitely think that it is worth comparing the two once I have the palette in my hands to see if the shades are similar or different enough that it would justify buying a new one. With that said, I definitely want to get the Iconic Infatuation palette to try, to review, and also because I am pretty basic at heart, and I know that this is actually a palette that I probably would get a lot of use out of, just like I have gotten a lot of use out of Mothership number 7. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I love that even though this is a more romantic color story, it's a romantic color story from like the wearable perspective. Like this is a palette that I can see myself reaching for on a daily basis, rather than a palette that I only want to wear when I want to wear pink eyeshadow, you know? Here's what the swatches of Iconic Infatuation look like, and I love how rich and deep the mattes go. I love that we have a really nice transition shade as well, and I really, really love how intensely pigmented and metallic the shimmer shades look like. So I'm very, very excited to try this one, and I'm definitely going to be picking it up. Then we have the Sublime Seduction palette, which is a bit of a darker, richer, much more warm color story. And this is the one that I'm still thinking whether or not I'm going to purchase it. I think I might. By the way, I think this palette would be great for darker complexions because even the transition color in this one is a lot darker. So in this one, you have a beautiful like silvery type champagne shade that would work beautifully in the inner corner. It also has the 3 mattes and the 3 shimmers, which I'm very excited about. And then the only con I think I have with this one is that the 2 gold coppery shimmer shades look very, very close to one another. There is a distinct like undertone difference between the 2. One's a bit more gold, one's a bit more like copper looking, but at the same time they're kind of right there. There isn't that much of a difference between those 2 shades. So I don't know, this is the palette that I'm like still hot and cold about. I'm thinking about whether or not I should buy it. Let me know down in the comment section if you want me to try this one, because I'm not sure. Plus, I do already have a lot of shades similar to these in my collection. Not that I don't have a lot of shades similar to the previous one as well. Like I said, I'm very undecided on this one. I might get it just for the review, but if I get it, know that if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would probably have skipped on this one because I am much more inclined to use the previous palette I showed you, which was Iconic Infatuation. By the way, let me go back to that one a bit and compare shades 4 and 5 in this one, because also they are kind of close to one another and I didn't mention it when I saw this one. I feel like you can see a bit more of an undertone difference, especially when it comes to the swatch on the lightest complexion. You can see one's a bit more pinky, one's a bit more orangey, but still those 2 shades in that palette as well are kind of close to one another. Last but not least, we have Velvet Liaison right here, which is one of the palettes that I am the most excited about. So I can tell you right away, yes, I am going to be purchasing this one. Pat McGrath is giving us an all matte eyeshadow palette. And I know I love Pat McGrath shimmers, but like I said, I also love Pat McGrath mattes and how deep and rich they get. And so the prospect of having an all matte eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath really excites me. I will say I have heard that shimmer metallic shades are a lot more expensive to create than mattes. Mattes are a little bit cheaper to create, and so I feel like this one should at least have a $5 discount. Anyways, unfortunately there aren't any swatches on the Pat McGrath website of this one to show you, but here's what the shades look like. And I love that even though there's only 6 shades and that they're all matte, there is distinct undertone differences between all of them. So we have this really beautiful base shade, like whitish type of shade that you can use to set your eye before starting to build up shadows. You have a medium toned warm brown, you have a very cool toned grayish with like maybe a bit of a purple undertone. Then you have your standard neutral dark matte brown. She also included this mid-tone taupey shade that I know I'm going to love as a transition in there. And then last but not least, a matte shadow with a rosy undertone. I already cannot wait to play with this all matte palette, and I'm thinking maybe in my review video I can do like an all matte look with it, but also this could be the palette that I combine with the liquid shadow from Pat McGrath so we can see what it looks like combined with shimmers as well. So will I buy it? Yes, I'll definitely be purchasing a lot of things out of this collection, getting either 2 or all 3 of the palettes. I'm getting 2 of the liquid shadows, and I'm getting the Nude Venus lipstick because I am a sucker for that Pat McGrath shade. I am dying to know your thoughts on this collection, and I feel like a lot of you are probably going to comment that this is kind of boring and that it looks like any other Pat McGrath collection, but even though I feel like we have a lot of shades similar to these in Pat McGrath, they're all in the bigger mothership palettes. They're not in this smaller 6-pan format. Plus, we are getting an all matte palette, which I am very excited about. And at the end of the day, even though I like to pretend that I'm fun and that I like variety and colors and whatnot, I'm personally someone who likes to use these types of colors on a daily basis. These palettes for me, I feel like they hit all of my check marks, if you will. They have a balanced amount of mattes and shimmers. They have what looks like are going to be very pigmented metallic shimmer shades, and they have what I know is going to be really blendable but also rich mattes that you can deepen up a lot. So it's kind of like the perfect combination of things for me, and I'm personally very excited for the palettes I mentioned. Plus I'm also very excited about trying that new liquid eyeshadow formula that Pat McGrath is launching. Anyways, like I said, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section, and if you like this video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up before you leave. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see these products in action once they come out and I buy them. And that is all I have for today's video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next one. Bye.